Okay, couple things I've been doing to teach her to open up her back and how to flex it up. When I first did them, she didn't respond at all. She wasn't comfortable. But through doing these things, she started learning how to lift her back. That will help strengthen the top line. It'll also teach her that she can lift her back and in turn and in time learn to lift me and carry me as well, because a foxtrot is either a neutral level back gait if it's done properly, or it has some slight flexion upward of the spine, where we kind of term it an amount of collection, not full collection. So what I started doing was some belly lifts and getting her to raise, like you just saw the saddle raise. Good girl. Creating a relationship, doing a lot of positive reinforcement and talking to her a lot so she learns to trust me and not get tense, because she tend to get tense around people. Her eyes would kind of get big and she wanted to do the right thing, but she was always tense. So the other thing I also do is I go further forward, more towards the base of the wither on the horse. And I also do something called wither lifts, trying to get them to lift up through the shoulder. So when I ask for my leg aids, ask her to lift her back up to me, she can also open up all the way through the shoulders, and that will maximize her front end extension, especially since a foxtrot has extension, not animation. And the other thing I have been doing, so she can learn to engage her pelvis and tip her pelvis, because she was used to being stiff and locking herself in the back end, was taking and doing some pelvic tucks and getting her to flex her pelvic. So it all builds the top line, but it also teaches her that she's able to use these things to maximize movement I'm going to need for foxtrot. So I did a lot, so I've been doing a lot of that. I've been doing a lot of the head down, just soft. Good. And when I work with the horse, I always keep my knees and my joints open. If I approach it stiff, the horse mirrors me and becomes stiff. So I try to keep my joints as open as I want them when I get on a horse. Some other things are some lateral flexion. And I don't pull the horse. I open, close, or squeeze, release my fingers. And I do 3 positions. And so I work here, and I put a hand at the jaw and ask her to bend this way. Then I take her head what I call home. Good girl. Again, building relationship, giving her positive reinforcement. And then the next position is the center of the neck. And I also do a little bit of open close pressure on the neck too, so she knows where I want it to arc. I have to move back so she has room to bend. Good girl. So I ask for it. Pulling for it doesn't help the horse, because it's forcing the muscles to move. It's not relaxing them so she can extend the muscles to make the lateral movement. And then the last position is right in front of the scapula. And again, it's just an open close. So now she actually starts bending her neck some and starts creating some suppling. Some other things, and I usually do both sides of the horse. And some other things is she wasn't good at pole work. She was very stiff in her pole. She still is. She's better under saddle, but rehabbing takes a lot longer than starting with a clean slate. So a couple other things I've been doing is I put a hand on the jaw, a hand here, and ask her to just rotate. Good girl. Her pull back and forth. She gets anxious, I just rub her. Good girl. And I try to do this just to kind of get that cranial rotation on that C1 vertebrae so it stays soft on her. And then another thing I do is what I call bouncing. And it's just a soft push release, so she learns how to be real soft. So when I start using rein, she will be able to do the same thing. Good. So when I ask her, pole releases left and pole releases right. So when I'm doing shoulders forward and shoulders in and shoulders out, she can create the proper shape and arc in her body to achieve that. I'm trying to find softness and suppleness in the horse.